Hi everyone, welcome to Border Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is Colin 27 from DETOX clan in his replay in his Rhm Borsig Waffentraeger, the Tier 8 German tank destroyer. This was a very popular line to go down when I first started playing World of Tanks, and as you can see he's got the 150mm, the 15cm gun on this tank, which does a lot more damage than the 128mm gun, but a little bit less penetration and not quite as accurate. But in this replay you'll see him do a ton of damage and have a really good game in what ends up being a really close finish at the end. Now you can see his top tier is Tier 8 in a Tier 8 game. However, with this tank, every tank on the enemy side is able to penetrate him. Now watch his first shot. It shoots at the IS-3, misses the IS-3, but kills the T-34-85. A little bit of conversation going in the chat. It looks like he's ammo racked and blown the top off that T-34-85, which is only a Tier 6 tank. But the guys from the JTIM clan and the JTIM players are generally pretty good players, and straight away he's taken one gun out of the enemy side. He's doing the sensible thing here, Colin 27. He's staying out of harm's way and trying to snipe up the top of the hill, where his platoon mate, which has joined Captain Alfred in a dynamic platoon. So the platoon was created at the start of the game. It's something I haven't done yet, but it's something that Wargaming introduced not long ago in one of the updates, which is quite handy when you're trying to chase your missions for platoon damage and platoon spotting and all those kind of personal missions. Captain Alfred's just taken out the enemy ARL-44 by setting him on fire by the looks of things, and Colin's just going to stay where he support his teammates and his platoon mate up on the hill. Looks like the enemy are giving the hill a reasonable push. With the 155cm or the 150cm gun on the Rhm Borsig Waffentraeger, as I said, it's not that accurate. As you just saw then, he fired a shot and totally missed the target. So you really got to make sure it's aimed properly when you're sniping and aiming, and stay out of harm's way. In this tank, the Rhm has no armour whatsoever. There's not any tank that it comes up against that can penetrate it easily, and it's not the quickest tank in the game. But as you just saw then, he picks up his second kill on SU-100Y, which is only a Tier 6, but it's another tank out of the game. So Colin's team is winning by one tank, and it looks like that IS-3 is copping a bit of a pounding up the top, but so is Captain Alfred, his platoon mate. He's running out of help up there. It would be tempting for Colin to rush up the hill and try and help him, but in doing so he's going to get spotted. They'll all target him because they'll all know that he's an easy tank to damage, and also a very dangerous tank because of his gun. Now on the damage counter you can see that he's done 700 damage. That doesn't count the T-34-85 that he killed early in the game, which is probably around about 1,000 hit points, I'd guess, from memory. His platoon mate, Captain Alfred's just been killed, but sensibly he stays where he is, Colin. There's no use charging ahead, as I said earlier. Somehow he bounces that Tier 7 T-20. The T-7 T-20 doesn't have a great deal of armour. Obviously it's a tier lower than the Rhm, but every now and then, you know, in any tank, every now and then you can pull off a freakish bounce. But he takes it out in his second shot and uses that bush to camouflage himself so that they can't see him. His sixth sense didn't go off then, I don't think. Recent changes to wargaming with tank destroyers is when they fire, their tank destroyers do have pretty good camouflage ratings, and the Rheinmetall has probably got the best camouflage rating of all the tank destroyers in the game. However, they've made it so that when they fire, that camouflage bonus stops. And there's another example of not aiming properly. That Tiger P, he wasn't fully aimed and the shot went wide. He didn't hit it at all. It wasn't a bounce. But he's still doing well. He's already got 3 kills early in the game. There's still 6 enemy tanks left. They're only winning by 1. But he aims properly that time and takes 658 health off that Tiger P. And the KV2 finishes him off. So they're comfortably winning by 2 tanks here. I mean, there's 2 artilleries on each side, so there's only going to be 3 other tanks looking around. But looking at the lineups on both sides, your money would be on Colin 27's team at this stage, winning by 2 tanks. Still plenty of time left, still got 9 minutes left on the clock, but Colin's decided that now's the time for him to move forward up the hill and try and spot and shoot the rest of the enemy side. You can see the marks on the mini-map on the eastern side of the map towards the centre, which is where the enemy tanks were last spotted. And it looks like none of them have actually gone up the hill, so now's a safe time for Colin to advance. He is in the lead of the advance. Looks like there's 3 tanks going up there. The KV2, the Cheeto, which is only at tier 6, so he has to be quite careful, and Colin. So they're going up the hill, and with the aim to shoot down the hill at the artilleries, the tank destroyer, and the 2 heavy tanks. The A44 has used the chat. They're talking in the chat about what they're going to do. The A44 said, well, I'll be the decoy, I'll go forward and try and spot this IS-3, who looks like he's on pretty low health. On the mini-map, I don't know if you can see it, but the circles around the enemy tanks indicate how much health they have left, which is part of Aslane's mod pack. And so Colin, quite rightly, is cautiously going up, utilising some cover, utilising the bushes to try and see the enemy tanks before they see him. Now, he's got binoculars and camouflage put on this tank, which is the right equipment in this situation. He knows that the SU-152 is statistically the best player on the enemy side, and he'd love to spot him, and there he does. He takes him almost down to 0. He's got about 100 health left, that IS-2. The KV-2 tries to finish him off, but it looks like he missed. The A44, he's apologising in chat. I think he might have got stuck in the water. Maybe he got tracked by the IS-3, I don't know, but he ended up drowning. But he definitely didn't do it on purpose. He was trying to light up the IS-3 and some of the other tanks as well, for Colin and for the KV2 driver. Now at this stage, the KV2 driver is, in my opinion, doing the right thing. He's pushing forward, but you can see it looks like an artillery shell just went off near him. So I'm pretty sure he's been spotted. And Colin is conserving his health. He is on full health, but he wants to get rid of this SU-152, which he's done. Who was statistically the best player on the enemy team, so he really wanted to take him out of the game. And now he's moving forward to try and support that KV2. The KV2 did take a bit of a pounding. It might have been from the SU-152, or it could have been from that T-29. He's got a good shot in him there. He's just trying to aim properly. He takes half of his health off him. Even though the KV2 driver has just been killed by the IS-3, Colin was able to take half of that T-29 tank's health, which means all the tanks, or the 2 heavy tanks, are now on low or mid health. We're pretty sure the IS-3 is on low health, and the T-29, obviously, because of Colin's good shooting, is now on about half health. You can see on the damage counter, he's got over 3,300 damage so far, which would be a good game in the Rhm Borsig Waffentraeger, but he's still on full health. He's still got plenty of ammunition. He he wants to turn this into an even better game. Bearing in mind the first kill that he got the tank wasn't spotted when he killed him, luckily, and well, unluckily for the enemy driver, but luckily for Colin. So that hasn't come up in his damage counter, but you'll see in the post-game battle results how much damage he ends up doing. Now, it's at this stage of the game where I realise, and obviously Colin has realised in the chat, that AT7 on his side hasn't really moved. It looks like he might be behind some cover near the base, but at this stage of the game you'd want him to be moving forward somewhere. But it lines up the T-29, takes out the T-29, which secures his 5th kill. And now it's just the IS-3 and 2 artilleries to take care of. At this stage, AT-7, in my opinion, should be moving forward down towards the waterline on the southwestern side of the map. But going by what's being said in the chat, it looks like Colin and his team have sort of written him off as a bot, which is unfortunate. If he had been playing a little bit earlier, could have contributed a little bit more to the game. But you never know. He might have just had computer problems. The game might have crashed, or his internet connection might have dropped. It's happened to us all, so we don't want to pass judgment too early. But Colin is being cautious here. He's using the bushes to camouflage himself while trying to spot the enemy teams. If the enemy artillery hadn't moved, then he would proximity spot them where he is now. Where he is sitting right now is exactly where the enemy artillery were last spotted, but safe to say they've retreated, knowing that he's coming down the hill when he was up there with the KV-2, and they've probably relocated and found somewhere else to fire from. But bearing in mind, the M12 isn't that quick. The FV-304, the little birdie tank, is quick, so he could have relocated anywhere. And it looks like the Lorraine on Colin's side has decided to go for the cap. There's only 3 minutes to go. I think it takes about 3 minutes to cap in the encounter mode, which is the mode he's playing in. You can see it does, 3 minutes and 16 seconds at the timer started at. And with less than 3 minutes to go, Colin said, well, it's time to move. It's time to move in. I am on full health. I can take a couple of hits if I need to, so long as it's not an artillery hit landing from above, and which can often totally destroy the Tier 8 Rhm Borsig Waffentraeger. So he keeps moving forward, not so cautious now. He's obviously realised there's only just over 2 minutes left in the game and they've got to kill 3 more tanks. The artillery who's capping has spotted the IS-3, so he lines him up. Unfortunately, he obviously thought that the IS-3 was going to reverse a little bit more, so he just misses. It looks like he didn't miss by too much, but the GW Panther killed him in any case. But it looks like they did reset the cap somehow. Whether the Lorraine left the cap or they tracked him, the Lorraine looks like he's still on full health. Now Lorraine just took a hit now, and with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go, Colin 27's moving down towards the enemy buildings. He's not going to slow down here. He realises that time is of the essence. The AT-8 has just started moving, so whether his game just fired up again or maybe his kettle's been boiled, who knows, but he's moving to where I think he should have moved quite a few minutes ago, because Colin's covering this part of the map. He spotted the American artillery, aims, takes him out and secures his top gun, and you can see now the damage counters are over 4,000 damage, obviously not counting that first tank that he killed, because that doesn't come up in the damage counters, the in-game damage counter or the ones in the mod pack, because the tank wasn't spotted, which is fair enough. The AT-7 now is moving slowly towards H1. It might be a little bit too late now. The clock's gone into the red. There's well under a minute to go, 30 seconds in fact. With only one tank left, the little birdie tank, the FV-304, which is quick. It's got a quick reload. They're not worried about taking damage now. All they've got to do now is kill that birdie tank. There's 20 seconds left in the game. They can't cap out because it's going to take 30 seconds to cap. There's only 20 seconds to go. Looking at where they are, there's only one place that Bertie can be. Colin spotted him. Bertie realises that he's been spotted, but he's only got a couple of seconds, so it's going to be one shot, hit or miss. Unfortunately, he misses. If the AT7 had have left the base a few seconds early, he would have been able to, even if he squashed him, it would have been a win. However, looking at the post-game battle results, you can see Colin 27 had an awesome game. Plenty of badges, plenty of medals, a mastery badge, a bruiser badge, the fire badge, and the fire for effect badge. And he's got the high caliber and the top gun for getting 6 kills. He nearly got 7 kills, but unfortunately they didn't know where the little British artillery was, and it just took too long to find him. If that AT7 had moved into that position, look, he probably could have moved into that position 5 minutes before he did. But you don't know. He could be a child, he could be someone who doesn't know how to play the game. Who knows? Or he could have had computer issues. So I'm not going to be quick to point the finger at him, but he definitely let the side down, in my opinion. Moving on to the second page of the battle results, you can see Colin 27 did 4,813 damage, picking up 6 kills, which gave him his top gun by a mile, more than double anyone else on his team. The IS3 on the enemy team had a good game with 3,500 damage, but no one compared to Colin 27 with his 4,813 damage plus his 6 kills. Obviously, he got top experience, 1,307 base experience, which is an awesome game, but that's the kind of result you'll get from a mastery badge. And the AT7, you can see he didn't do any damage whatsoever and ended up pretty much bottom for experience. Somehow he got more experience than that A44 who lit a few tanks up and did a bit of damage. I don't really know how that works, but great game by Colin and Captain Alfred, who didn't last that long, but he still managed 2,251 damage and a kill, and was an integral part of defending that hill early on in the game. And moving on to the last page of the battle results, you can see he fired 14 shots, 10 of them hit, 9 penetrated, which gave him 4,813 damage, 1,653 damage from a distance of more than 300 metres, which is what the Rhm Borsig Waffentraeger is for. You don't want to be brawling in this tank, you don't want to be trying to exchange shots, because you will lose. Every tank you come up against will penetrate your armour. You're not going to really be successful if you're up close and personal in this tank. 7 vehicles were damaged, 6 were destroyed, and he also got 986 spotting damage. That would have been probably late on during the game when he was spotting for the artillery and trying not to reset the cap, but to help his mate's cap and to kill those last remaining tanks. He received 41,000 credits, which are with a bottom line profit after his ammunition. Some of his ammunition was premium ammunition. He made a profit of 12,394 with a standard account, and you can see there that would have been almost triple if you had a premium account, which is one reason I always run a premium account. It makes your games much more profitable because your expenses are the same, but the amount of credits you earn are a lot better. So a big thank you to Colin 27 from DETOX Clan and Captain Alfred for joining in on the dynamic platoon. That was a great replay. Very unlucky. You probably only needed another 10 seconds and you would have won the game and got a little bit more damage, probably over 5,000 damage. So thank you very much, Colin. That was a great replay. If you've got a replay that you'd like to see up on YouTube, the video I put up last week explains how to do it using the World of Tanks Replays website, or just send me a message in-game or through YouTube. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this replay. Take care, and I'll see you next time.